Hello everybody, it's Rachel at From Moments to Milestones, and I'm back today with a paper pad card class online. So we're a little late on the video, but better late than never is what I always say. So I'm going to go through today, put together all the cards so you can see how it's done. As always, when you buy the card kit, it always comes with written instructions. There's a picture of the card, but if you want to follow along here, that works too. So we'll go ahead and get started. The first card we're going to do today is Have a Happy Summer. So let's set that off to the side. Hopefully you can still see that. Get this open. So first off, we are going to put this gingham here in the background. It is going to lay like this, but we'll lay that down first. I will tell you that some of these cards, we had them cut somewhere and sometimes they're a little off. So before you get started, you want to make sure that your cards are cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. We apologize for that, but that's just kind of been the way it goes. So I'm going to grab my trimmer and trim that up real quick so that it lines up. All right. Oops. Well, let's not do that. All right. That works out well, so we'll go ahead and down like that. Okay, now that I have that piece down, I am going to work on getting the scenes from the card into their corners here, and I'm going to use this frame as a guide. So I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on the back of those, and then the plant lady is going to go up here in the corner. So I'm just going to hold this where it would go and kind of tuck her in behind. Okay. We'll do the same with this one. All right. I have those in place. And then this frame I have popped up. Now that's a choice, you know, obviously if you don't want that bulk when you're mailing it, you don't have to use that. But I'm going to go ahead and pop that up. And I have some foam strips here that I'm going to use. So put one here. I pulled off the backing and I'm going to go ahead and place that down. All right. And then next we have our little flower pots. We're going to tuck those in, but before we do that, you should have a strip of brown. And what we're doing is creating some dimension on that pot. And so we're just going to take this and glue it right over that, snip off the edge, and do that to the same thing to the other one. So I'm just going to put a strip of adhesive on top of each one. And you could absolutely ink this up if you want. That's a preference. Probably the more detail, the better, right? All right. This one. That, clean up my stickies there. Okay. And then these are just going to go there. I did not pop those up, but what we have these greenery pieces here. So what I would suggest is before gluing this down, we're going to place these. So one will go in each spot there. Just use some, my glue is not ready. So just gonna put a dot of glue, using this as a guide. I'm just gonna tuck it in, just like that. Do the same thing on the other. All right, and then we have these two pieces, but you'll notice here on the card, this one has 2 flowers and this one only has 1. So I'm just gonna take one of these and I'm just gonna snip off. See what I'm doing? I'm just gonna snip off one of the flowers. Okay, so that one is, and you may need to trim some of this off as well because we're not gonna see all that. That way you can tuck in there nice and easy. Just gonna go like that. So I'm gonna put some glue on the back, tuck that in. Good thing it's dries clear glue. I got a little crazy with that. All right, I'm gonna snip off the bottom of that one as well. A little glue, tuck that in. All right, and then in your kit you should have had a little piece of Post-it tape that's got these little flowers on there that we're gonna stick over those green flowers. Now it's up to you if you want to just stick them on or ink them. I did a little bit of inking on when I made mine, and I used Ripe Persimmon on the coral color and Salty Ocean on the blue. These are bright colors and a little will go a long way. I'll go ahead and do that real quick. They are so tiny that it is not the easiest thing to do, but if you want to give it a try, it's really just kind of touching the edges. Kind of like that. I'll do the same with these. If you don't have the patience for it, I get it. Okay. So what we're gonna do is just put a little bit of glue. Glue everywhere. A little bit of glue. There, there, there. And then I'm gonna use my old quick cuts here to pick it up and place. So you have the 2 coral there. And they might not match perfect, that's okay. Just lay them on there. All right. And we just need a sentiment on this card and we're finished. So I have mine hanging off. If you were actually gonna mail it, you might wanna just trim that off or center it. So that can be a personal choice there. Some glue on there. And I'll put this one in the center so you can see what that looks like. All right, and that card's finished. We'll go on to the next. The next card is Bloom Where You Are Planted. Move that off to the side. We'll get our card kit open here. All right, so let's go ahead and put down the blue cardstock. Okay. Next will be this watercolor piece. You're just gonna have a slight blue border there. I have the coral to the left, but I don't think it really makes that much difference to you. Okay, and we have this straight paper, and then we're just got the slightest bit of the coral showing. So I'm gonna put a strip of glue, and then I'm just gonna lay that right on top. Get it the way I want it. Okay, and then we'll put glue on the back of both of those. Put it at the bottom. I'm lining that up with the watercolor paper. Okay, next we have these flower pots. This is the same flower pot from the last card. The last card we trimmed them down to make them shorter, but we're gonna do the same thing. I'm actually gonna ink these a little bit. I used pumice stone. These are oxide inks, but distress would work as well. It's very close to being the same color, so it's gonna be a real subtle difference. Just gonna, if you want more dramatic effect, obviously use something darker. Okay. Oops, I'm gonna go ahead and do this too. I'll do one whole end. All right. So we're gonna do that same thing. I'm gonna glue down the top and trim off the edge. Oops. Okay. And then I just need to add where I trim that on each end. All right, so now these can go in here. This one right here is gonna be popped up. I'm gonna get some foam squares for that. I'm just gonna put them at the bottom for right now because we're gonna layer in our pieces. You kinda wanna do that before you get these down. So we're gonna get kind of the placement of where we want them. And then on this one, I'm just gonna put a bit of glue at the bottom of it so it kind of stays put. And then we're gonna tuck in our greenery. And you are free to do any kind of inking if you wanna change up the colors at all. I don't believe I did. So I'm gonna trim this off of that one. You'll have one go behind each one. And you can glue it straight to it if you want. That's an option. But we also have these coming out. So we have 3 of these. And so let's see, the one that has one flower is gonna go right here in the front of that one. And one's going one way and one's going the other. So this one is going, I think they're really both coming out of, let me see here. It's been a while since I made this card. Okay. So we're gonna do what we did last time, which is cut off one of those for this, okay? And then I'm gonna cut off the bottom because we don't need all that. So let's go ahead and get this, let me get that on. Okay, and then this little piece is coming right there. And actually, see this other flower just is gonna kind of hang where there is no flower. So we're just being all kinds of creative today. And then this is gonna go here. So we're just gonna use, I'm not gonna put it down yet. I'm just gonna use it as a place. And I'm gonna put it in front. So it's gonna go right there. And then we have one coming out this way. Again, I'm gonna trim off the bottoms. So, have one there. And this one coming out right there. All right, so finish putting the foam on there, peel off the backing. And put that down. Now these other two pieces, this die here is a Tim Holtz die. It's a two-piece die. Actually, you can layer it together, but I'm going to use this to look like that greenery is kind of flowing out of that pot. So we're going to put some glue there, have that there, and then we have a flower there. Go ahead and you can shape this if you want. I did not. Okay. And now back in your kit, we have these little flowers on your Post-it again. So go ahead and get those out. Same thing applies. If you want to try to ink them, you can. If you don't, that's fine too. Might be easier to just do it on the, try that a little bit, right on the Post-it tape. There. Keep you from getting super inky fingers, I guess. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put some glue in all those spots on the flowers. 1, 2, 3, and then we have one in the center there. So there. There. See, I forgot a spot, didn't I? Right there. Okay. Take these blue ones off the Post-it. And one there. All right, so your greenery is done. You could always add glitter or a Wink of Stella pen to dress it up a little bit. That's up to you. We're gonna go ahead and finish this card with the sentiment, and we're gonna glue this to this and put this whole piece on foam and stick it down there. So. That. All right, we'll finish this off with the sentiment. And that card is finished. Okay, the next card, always choose kindness. Set it to the side, get our kit out. Lots of little pieces in this one. So let's go ahead and build this up first. Start with that. So let's get that down. Okay, next we'll put the gingham. Now we have this piece that's going to go right here, but we have a small border of gray there, so we're going to glue that to it first. So I'm just going to put a line of glue. Oh no. It dries clear. Have no fear. All right, so we're going to put this on about 1/8 of an inch or a little less. Showing, and then that piece is going to line up with that gingham paper. Okay. All right. Next, we'll layer up our square pieces here. So we have all. It's going to look something like that. So we'll put the sentiment, always choose kindness, onto the dark gray. Dark gray onto the blue. And the blue onto the white. All right, I do not have that popped up. I just have it, it's kind of, it's pretty much centered, but we have this big bunch of flowers, so it's just slightly off to the left. So that down. Okay. All right, and now for the greenery. So in your kit, you have this Post-it note. These are the flowers that are going to go on this piece. This is a Tim Holtz die. Very tiny pieces, but I think the end result's worth it, working with them. So I'm going to go ahead and ink them. I kind of just came out from the bottom, if you can figure out what that is. Okay, not much. I did not ink the blue flower. You could if you wanted to. So we have these pieces here. They're gonna go here. And then this piece, let's go ahead and get those flowers on. That little white piece is the center of our flower. It's also important, so. All right, so just do your best to match them up. They do fit in pretty good. Yep. I may have put that in the wrong spot, but that's okay. It really, at the end of the day, nobody is going to know. Okay, so I'm going to glue these down. And again, you want to give these any shape and dimension, you're more than welcome to. I'm not going to today for time's sake. All right, and this piece. Go right in there. Get some of this glue off my fingers. Okay, and then again we're going to do that. So with this little piece here, it's going to be coming down like that. And then I did pop up the flower. Go ahead and do that. Go right there. And put a little glue right there for the flower center. All right, and that card is finished. All right, next we have I don't need therapy, I talk to my plants. So, let's get that over here. These guys out too. Stick them up here so I don't lose them. All right, let's go ahead and put this dark green cardstock down onto the card base. Oops. All right, we have the brown. Centered on there. Okay, and then we're gonna put this you know, collage paper down, so centered. Okay, we have this brick piece. and you'll notice there are 2 borders there. So I just gave you 2 strips, and we're gonna do that same thing, a little line of glue, and we have about 1/8 of an inch showing. Okay, do that same thing on this side. This is the easiest way to stretch your paper. Nobody's gonna know that you don't have a full sheet back there. And then we're gonna put that piece down. So I have it lined up right with the edge of that collage paper. Okay. All right, so we have that. And we kind of have our little sign hanging here, but we're gonna place our greenery first before we do that. But we're gonna use this as a guide. So I'm gonna go ahead and glue that little square onto that so it won't be moving all around when I'm using it, okay? And so we have these oldie but goodie Tim Holtz dies from Garden Greens. This big one here, if I can get a hold of it, is going to go right up here. Okay. Now, I think it looks like I probably trimmed it. So it's up to you if you want more greenery than what I have showing here, but I'm going to go ahead and match the example here. So I'm just going to trim that off right there and tuck that in there. So just put a little glue right there. There we go. And then these 2 pieces, we're gonna have one coming out this way and one there. So little glue just to get it where I want it. Oops. Okay, that looks good. And this one, everything is in this one like that. All right. I'm going to put foam on the back of my square. Okay, I'm going to place that down. Okay, and then you have this little piece here. This is the hanger. All right, so I'm just going to put little dots on each end and put that, just tuck it in behind there. Okay, now on your little sheet of Post-its, you'll have these flowers that we're going to place, and also these 2 little blue things, 2 little blue circles, and they're going to kind of be layered there as your hanging piece. So I'm going to go ahead and put a dot of glue right there. Get out my quick stick. Slide them off that, or pop them off the paper. And the big one will go first. Just gonna put that down. Okay. You can stop there if you don't want to fuss with this little one. The little one is gonna go on top of that. Just a little dimension, but definitely not necessary. All right. So there's that, and then I'm going to go ahead and just ink up a little bit on those flowers like we have been in the past with some Salty Ocean. You could definitely use something softer if you didn't want that harsh of a look. I'm going to take those off the Post-it. Okay. And I'm just gonna, you'll have a picture to follow along. I'm just gonna put the glue in the spots where I have my flowers, whatever's pleasing to you, your eye. All right. Got one there. 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 All right. That card is finished. All right, the next card, hang in there, you got this. This one should be very easy. Twine and a little heart here. Set that up there. Okay, so we are gonna start with this green strip. We don't have a full card front because we have used this dark green in several other cards. So we're just gonna make the most of our paper here. And put a line of glue there. Put down the green strip and nobody will be the wiser. Okay. And then we're gonna have this, and then we're gonna have this piece here. So next I'm going to put another strip of glue here so I don't have the white showing. Okay. That looks a little long. I'm gonna trim that. Okay, so we got that there. Now you have this piece that's gonna go here, but before we do that, we are going to glue this piece on and wrap the twine around it before we glue it down. It's really the easiest way to do it. Okay, so that piece is down, and I've already made the mistake that I don't want you to make, so the power of editing, you didn't have to watch that. So anyway, here we go. So what I did, you have one long piece of twine, and you're gonna fold it in half, trim it, fold both of those pieces in half, trim it, so that you end up with 4 even pieces of twine. Okay, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take 3 of them. We'll take 3 of them. And we are going to wrap them around that, right on that seam there. Oh my gosh, I can't get them all lined up. There we go. We're gonna do like this. We're gonna put them down like this, flip it over, and then tape them to the back. And because I have adhesive on there, they're gonna stick. But I would recommend a piece of Scotch tape or washi tape over that to hold it down. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. You wanna make sure it's lined up. You don't wanna do what I just did. So maybe do one side at a time. So here we go. And we're just gonna wrap it around and stick it to the back. Okay. It's gonna look like that, and then we're gonna go ahead, I'm gonna use wet glue on top of that so where they stay. All right. And then that is gonna go right like that. Make sure you press right there. We don't want those coming out. It'll look like it's wrapped around. And then, and don't hate me, I know it's not the longest piece. You're gonna tuck that in like that and tie a bow, okay? If you can't make the bow work, you could always just leave it and trim off the edges. There is enough there to tie a bow, but if you have big fingers, you might not like me very much. I'm gonna use this little tool right here to pull it out. And there we go. All right, so there it is. There's your bow. And then to finish this card, just put a dot of glue there, and that little heart is gonna go right there. Get my quick sticks. And it's gonna go right there. All right, now you could dress this one up. I thought it might be fun to put some either glitter, maybe pick a color, maybe the, you know, all the gray or all the blue. Maybe use glitter or glossy accents to dress it up a bit. But if not, I think it's pretty just like it is. So that card is finished. Get well soon. I like the simple color scheme on this one, just all the pretty greens. All right. So let's see what we have here. Let me get a strip of gold. Okay, we have these two green pieces. I'm gonna put the smaller one at the top, a larger one at the bottom. I'll go ahead and put those glued down. Make sure your card's opening the right way. It's gonna open like this. Okay. And then the smaller strip up top. All right. And then we're gonna have this piece here. So you got about 1/4 of an inch up top. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that down. Okay. All right. And then we have this green strip here, which it's cut a little long. I think I remember that when I was packing the kits, but we can just use our trimmers our scissors and trim it off. All right, so that's gonna butt up right up to that leaf paper. I'll put a strip of glue there. Make sure I'm on camera, okay? All right, trim off the back. Okay. All right, and then we're gonna do that same thing. It's gonna butt up against the leaf paper as well. I need the, all right, there it is. And now we are going to put on this Get Well Soon oval, which we're gonna trim off. So I'm gonna put some glue on the back and line it up where I want it. I actually, if you can tell, there's none of that green showing and it goes all the way. So if you wanna use that as a guide, and I'm gonna go ahead and stick it down and then trim off. There we go. And so now we're just gonna layer up this. Now on this card, I did shape the greenery, but I don't have my shaping tools with me now, so you just use a ball stylus on a soft mat and push in, and it'll give your leaves some dimension. But I'm gonna go ahead and just stick them on here. So we have them like that. I believe we have one going this way, one going that way. And then the flowers popped up in the center, and we used a little bit of gold glitter. Okay, so some glue there first. Make sure I get it where I want it. All right. And it stuck to my finger instead of the card. Okay. I'm gonna put foam square on the back of that and place that where I want it. Okay, and put a dot of glue here. This is the glitter I use, Nuvo Sparkle Dust. This color is called Gold Shine. So, it's gonna, my little scoop here, but that'll work. go. We have a shimmery flower center. All right, and then I'm going to take this butterfly. I'm gonna kind of bend the wings around the center of the body. And I'm just gonna put some glue on the body and stick it right up here. That looks like he's flying off the page. All right, and that card's finished. All right, ladies, if you're still watching, we have one more card to go. I like you even more than I like my plants, and that's a lot. I do love to plant flowers, but about this time of year when it starts to get really hot and you've got to water constantly, I'm kind of ready for it to be over. But I'm still watering, so. Anyway, so let's go ahead and put this card together. All right, so this is kind of the same idea, trying to utilize our scraps and not cut into all these papers, because really I left you paper that you could make these same cards again. All right, so it's gonna go like that. Okay, so let's get these pieces down. Strips of glue there. And the card's gonna open like this. So this thicker piece is gonna go on the bottom. And then I think I'm actually going to use wet glue on that because it's thin. Okay. That's gonna go up here at the top. Oops. All right. All right, and now the rows of plants or herbs, whatever they're supposed to be. That is gonna go, you can butt it up right to the edge, you can overlap at the top, however that works for you. And then we're gonna have this strip right here, and we're gonna cut like banner ends or fishtails, whatever you call them, into the end. So I'm gonna cut down the center from the corner to the, just like that. Okay. Put some glue on the back of that, and it's gonna go right over this seam. Okay. All right. And now we have this gold metallic piece and the sentiment. So I'm going to glue that on. Okay, and that's going to go straight down. Okay, and then last but not least, this is that same flower pot die. We trimmed off that top edge, and then I'm gonna give you a small strip that we're gonna glue on top, just to give some variation in our cards and the size of planters, because they don't all look the same. And just add some. Maybe easier to do this right here. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna put that, and I'm gonna just stick that right on top, and then if I don't like what's hanging over, I'm just gonna trim off a little bit. It's a little long on that side. So, there we go. All right, and then all we're gonna do for that, I am going to put a little glue here. I'm gonna put this light one on top. Okay, like that. And then I'm going to put another little bit of glue there and glue it like that. And I'm going to put all of it up on foam, and it's going to go right there. just pop that on the corner. And that card is finished as well. I believe, I don't know if the light is catching it at all, but I think I have some Wink of Stella on that. So, I mean, you can dress it up however you would like. I think, you know, Wink of Stella on all those little plant things would be cute. So, however you, maybe even a thought I had was some colored glitter, like on all these little flowers to really bring them out. I think that would be pretty too. So, but that finishes the card and that finishes the video of today. So, got through all 7. I hope you enjoyed it. We have a really cute summer one coming up, I believe August 13th. And then we're gonna have a baby paper pad card class at the end of August. So looking forward to those, and thanks for watching. We'll talk to you soon.